Si se puede, yes we can. A story about Dolores Huete, one of the most influential labor rights activists of the 20th century and leader of the Chicano rights movement. Dolores Huete was born on April 10, 1930 to Alicia and Juan Fernandez in Dawson, New Mexico. Her father was a farm worker and a miner, and her parents were divorced when she was 3 years old. Dolores Huerta was particularly inspired by her mother's activism and passion for her community. She was also inspired by the discrimination she faced growing up. Dolores notes how her brother was brutally beaten for wearing a zoot suit, a popular outfit worn by Latinos at the time, a form of protest. Dolores received an associate's degree from the University of Pacific's Delta College and would become a schoolteacher in the 1950s. Dolores was hit with passion once again, but this time for her students and their families. She was tired of seeing how many farm children would come to school hungry or without their school supplies. In 1955, Dolores co-founded the Stockton chapter of Community Service Organization, which led voter registration drives and fought for economic improvements for Hispanics, as well as Agricultural Workers Association. A community service organization associate introduced Dolores to Cesar Chavez. Together, Huerta and Chavez founded the National Farm Workers Association, or the NFWA, in 1962. From this, the United Farm Workers Union formed 3 years later, where Huerta served as UFW vice president until the year 1999. In 1965, Dolores and Cesar formed the Delano Grape Strike with 5,000 grape workers. Farm hands worked without access to water, food, or toilets. They were protesting these poor working conditions and low pay for farm workers. Farmers also wanted the opportunity to form their own unions. Dolores was the lead negotiator in the successful workers' contract that followed the Delano strikes. In fact, she was the driving force behind these nationwide grape strikes. Dolores assembled another mass of grape boycotts that led to the California Agricultural Labor Relations Act of 1975. This act permitted farm workers to bargain for better work conditions, wages, and form unions. Throughout her fight for justice, Dolores Huerta continued to campaign for farm workers, organize protests, negotiate contracts, and advocate for better working conditions. Dolores Huerta coined the phrase "si se puede" at a rally in 1972 as a response to farm workers who said, "No, no si se puede." Si se puede means "yes we can" or "yes it is possible," and thereafter became the rallying cry for UFW, labor unions, and civil rights movements across the country. In 2012, Huerta was honored with the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Barack Obama for her lifelong commitment for justice to the underserved. This medal is the highest form of civilian honor one can receive in our nation. Dolores Huerta has done so much to help those without a voice. Without her fight for civil justice, we would not have the right to form unions, proper working conditions, and standard wages for farm workers. Even at her late age of 94, she is still an active board member of the Feminist Majority Foundation, the Secretary-Treasurer of Emeritus of the United Farm Workers of America, and the President of the Dolores Huerta Foundation.